everybody, it's Mark Shelsh here. This is the Mark Art Show, and I'm in a different section of the gallery today. And you can see sculptures around me, all these marble sculptures by different Filipino sculptors. Okay, today we want to go on with our subject that we've been talking about. I talked about self-talk, positive and negative, and then we talked about the thief, which we've done a lot of times. And today we're going to touch on something that I haven't spoken on very much. I've written about it a little bit, and that's the Muse, and kind of understanding the Muse. Now, I want to say up front that this is the way I see it and my opinion of it, okay? So I'm not saying this is the only way that people can see it, but this is the way I see it and the way it's worked for me over the years. Now, the Muse is that still small voice. You know, it's that knowing that I know what to do. It's that, you know, I'm in the zone. I found my mojo. Whatever language you use, but I think you can understand what I'm saying. It's that point of knowing that you found that place. Now, the Muse can be your angel, can be your spirit guide. There can be lots and lots of terms and words for it, you know. But really, what it is, it's allowing the genius within to flow through us. And I believe it takes a little bit of work to make that happen. You know, how often have we finished a painting? Well, I know I've done this. I've finished a painting and I've stood back and looked at it and thought, wow, did I really do that? But you know you did, but it's kind of that recognizing that there was more going on here than me just painting a painting. Or it's, you know, it's painting that painting and hours fly by and it feels like minutes. It's being in that place where the Muse is flowing through you, where you are allowing the work to just happen. Really, you know, it's just happening around you and you're kind of in this place of knowing but not knowing, and it just works for you. It's a wonderful place to be. And that is when the Muse, the genius, is working through us. Now, it says in ancient text, it says this: the kingdom of God is within. Now you can translate that any way you want, and it can mean whatever you want it to mean. But for me, it's that inner genius. It's that inspiration that's within. It's allowing that to come forward. It's the ability to touch on the genius, the power, the whatever you want to call it, that's within. Now, that's all well and good. How do we do that? You know, I see so often people say, you know, I've got artist block, or I've got no inspiration. What do I do? How do I fix that? Well, I believe one of the real reasons why it's hard for people to tap into what we call the Muse or the genius within, or that sense of power, that ability, that inspiration that comes from within, is just the noise around us. It's that constant noise of life, the hustle, the bustle that just keeps going. And our minds are so overworking with all of that really we don't get to that point of that quietness. And it's finding that place of quiet where we begin to coax the Muse forward, where we find that place. You know, you cannot just force it to happen. I do not believe there's anything like forcing it to happen. I believe it takes quiet. I believe it takes a calming down of us. We've got to calm down. I believe it takes shutting out the world. You know, it's like waiting for a butterfly to come and land on your hand. It takes patience and calm, an attitude of humility and gratitude. It's allowing the quietness to come in for the butterfly to land. And that's how I believe we coax out the Muse. Now, I find for me, where it works well for me, and it may work differently for you, but I can only talk about me because that's all I know and understand, is I like that real quiet time in the early morning when everyone's asleep and all I can hear is the sound of the fan blowing. We can get to that quiet place, where you can get to that place where you're shutting out the world, where all the things that matter go away, and it's just you there and your thoughts. And it's getting to that place where we allow the thoughts within, we allow that still small voice within to come forward and begin to speak into our lives. Now, I do not believe that the muse or the energy or the genius, whatever you want to call it, is attracted to loud noise and anger and all those things. I believe it's attracted to our gift. I believe it's attracted to our strength within, our power that's resonant within us. And I also believe that if you want the muse to begin to move in your life and move in your gift, you have to start to get it to come, not the other way around. So when I sit down in the morning and I like even this morning, I sat down and I thought, I got no idea what I'm going to write about. But I pick up my pen and I've got myself into that positive state, and I just begin to write a couple of words and a couple of sentences, and all of a sudden it just begins to flow. And before you know it, 2 pages have been written. And you think, wow, where did that all come from? And it's the gift. It's the gift within. It's the muse beginning to flow. See, we attract it. We attract it by our calmness. We attract it by quietness. We attract it by listening and waiting for it, waiting for the butterfly to land on our hands. You know, it's like if you want to write and you need inspiration and you need the muse, start writing. If you want to draw and you need inspiration and you need the muse to come, start drawing. If you want to paint and you need the muse and inspiration to come, start painting. And friends, think of it this way. Look at a child. Have you ever watched a little child when you give them some crayons and some paper and you say to them, hey, why don't you start to draw? Why don't you draw something for me? And they'll sit down and they'll say, well, what am I going to draw? I don't know what to draw. What do you think? And then you say, well, I don't know, draw something, whatever you want. Draw something around you. And all of a sudden, the child will just pick up the crayon and just begin to play and put marks down. And then within seconds, it just begins to flow through them. And all of a sudden, the child's totally engrossed in drawing, totally engrossed, as the muse rushes through and they begin to create. It's so easy for a child because the quietness within a child, there's nothing happening greatly. You know, they haven't got all the worries and the burdens of life that we carry around, and the things we worry about most often don't even happen anyway. But the child hasn't. And as soon as it gets into that place where it begins to draw and allow the muse to come, it rushes in. And there we have, and the child draws and draws and draws. And it happens within minutes, they get up and they say, oh, this is mine, I did this, do you like it? You know, children don't looking. They never expect criticism. They always expect they're going to get praised, because they haven't been pushed down like we've been pushed down. So I say, friends, if you want the muse to flow and you want to touch that within, that power, that genius, that power that is resonant within you, you've got to start getting some little rituals where you get to be quiet and you get to listen. And you allow yourself to calm down. And you get yourself into a place of being grateful. I always like to get myself into a place of gratitude where I'm grateful. I think about my kids and I think how grateful I am, and I think about what I do, and I think about all the people, and I'm so grateful for all of that. And I allow that to flow through me. And then I begin to think, what am I going to write? And I begin to write and allow the muse to come. Find that still, quiet place where you can hear the voice of inspiration, where you can hear the voice of the muse. Find that place, my friends. That's the key. The key is getting the muse to flow to you, flow through you. It's not forcing it. This will never happen by forcing. You cannot make the muse do anything. You cannot force inspiration out of somebody. You've got to allow it to flow. And I always find that when I start to write, when I start to draw, when I start to paint, is when the muse begins to flow. The muse doesn't come first. The starting comes first. And then it begins to flow through us. And before we know it, we're in the zone, as some people call it, or we're in that place where hours become minutes, where we paint something and we're stunned and startled by it because we think, wow, did I do that? You know, because the muse has flowed through us. And we have been touched by greatness in many respects, touched by the eternal, touched by the universe as it's allowed to flow through us and do things through our lives. Friends, it takes practice. It takes calming down. It takes quietening the noise in your head, the voices, quieten them down and begin to listen for that still small voice, the butterfly landing on your hand. Patience, quietness, humility, gratitude, and then start to paint and you'll find it flow through you and you'll be touched by the Muse. I think this is a wonderful subject. It's a beautiful subject. I'm probably going to write a blog about this too because there's so much else I wanted to say and time's caught up on me now. Friends, I hope this helps you. I hope this inspires you to find the gift within. Remember, the gift is within you and the gift will make way for itself. It's you allowing it to come through in your life. Patience, humility, quiet, calmness, and allow the Muse to come out. Okay, my friends, I hope you have a great day painting today. I hope you just allow that Muse to flow through you and touch your life. And when it does, it'll touch the lives of others too. You'll bring joy and happiness into other people's lives as they see your paintings. Okay, my friends, you have a wonderful day. I look for the day when you come and visit me here in Galeria de las Islas. Remember to reach out and touch people. Hugs and smiles are free. Give them away generously. And I'm going to talk to you tomorrow, maybe a little bit more about this. Okay? Have a great day. Ciao.